So, from Dublin to Copenhagen and then New York, is that right? How did you get to New York? What was the story there?
I came up in Dublin, and everybody was in a band. I mean, not everybody was in a band, but there was a lot of bands, a very healthy band culture, and I think it's really good for people. Actually, it's a good place. It's a little gang. It was always about creating your own identity, you know, because there were so many bands, so you kind of like had to be a little different, and that went along various bands. I eventually I went to Copenhagen for a year off. I'd finished my ALCM, which sounds very fancy. It was a performance diploma in classical guitar, and that's where I met Donald Coughlin, who became, when we came back, we were both kind of disillusioned with the band thing. The drummer was always leaving, and then so we put a band together, and we were so kind of over the band thing, we decided to do a duo thing. So we borrowed some money from our families, and we bought a little recording setup, and we demoed our songs. I think in probably a very focused way at that point, and we got a deal. We got a deal with Island Records. It was very exciting. Chris Blackwell came and saw us, and we went and made a record. And, you know, it ran its course. It was about 4 years, and it was very exciting. Got to make a video and go to New York and all those kinds of things. And then once that had run its course, it was like, oh, I was back to square one again. And I'd been to New York, and I loved New York. I loved the energy of it. And I was like, I could go to New York. And I had one friend over there who I'd worked in a studio with who said, yeah, come and I'll try and plug you into a few things. Yeah. And eventually started to get some gigs.
Yeah, who's the first person you played for over there?
I was working with a singer-songwriter, and then my friend Kevin Killen, who's a great recording engineer, was working on a Laurie Anderson record, and he said, "Do you want to do a track on a Laurie Anderson record?" I was like, "Yes, I want to do a track on." She was a hero of mine, and so I went down, and she's a sweetheart, and I did a track, and we got along, and they really liked it, and they said, "Well, would you like to do another track?" And I was like, yeah, we'll come back tomorrow. So I ended up playing on 9 tracks, I think, on the record.